What is going on, Governor? It's Chisgule here, and today we're going to talk about how you smash your enemies in the Ark of Osiris and get the absolute perfect start to your battle. That's right, there are some things you need to do, and I've watched at least a dozen Ark of Osiris battles at this point, so I feel very comfortable sharing this is the perfect opening strategy for Ark of Osiris. If you like Ark of Osiris strategy guides, you should definitely like and subscribe because we're going to cover the heck out of that on this channel. And we're a sponsored creator for Rise of Civilizations. So let's get right into it. How do you get the perfect start in Ark of Osiris? Let me tell you, I wanted to show you our perfect start. But today, unfortunately, there was a glitch. Our battleground crashed. I think it would have been a heck of a fight. We were matched up against an alliance. Let me see if I can show it. We would have been down 250 million power. But we had a full 30 players that were ready to play. They were online. We chatted. We were coordinated. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the coordination piece, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of the strategy. In fact, a lot of the strategy to get your perfect start. Okay? So the first thing is that you need to make sure that all 30 of your players are available and, if possible, can get in voice chat. We had 27 players in voice chat. Do you think that the alliance that is in voice chat will do better? Professional gamers use voice chat. I'm just going to say, professional gamers, when they compete in tournaments, they use voice chat. So you want to be on voice. That's the play. Let's assume you've got all 30 players and you know they're going to be there. My recommendation, and I'm going to shift now to have our strategy off to the side over here. My recommendation is that in the start of the battle, there's a couple things you need to do and must do. You must capture both of your obelisks, the ones that are closest to you. Now, why is that? At that moment in time, there's not a lot else that is capturable. I believe that what I have circled in green here might be capturable. If it isn't, then it's capturable shortly after that point. But you capture those two obelisks because you then have to hold it for 3 minutes before you can port forward, before you can teleport forward. Now, when you capture an obelisk, you get 5 teleports for each one when it's captured for the first time, and subsequent captures give you 2 teleports. You must strategically use the 10 teleports you get, and you must plan for it. Let me tell you exactly how to do that. First, though, we need to talk about something important, which is that the enemy cannot travel to your obelisk faster than you can capture it. If you send fast units to your obelisk, especially if you send an army with full T1s, because those are the fastest units that you can get, bunch of cavalry with march speed and T1s, you can get your obelisks secured before the enemy can arrive to battle them. So, this to me says that your opening must involve both obelisks, and the second you can teleport, 10 people should be teleporting. Now, who teleports where? Let me give you a little bit of the strategy and explain more of what you're seeing in this diagram. We break down into 6 squads. The first squad, blue 1, goes and captures the objectives on the left side, starting with the obelisk. And their goal is to capture those objectives and push forward if appropriate. The red squad, their objective is to capture those objectives and push forward if appropriate. It's basically doing the same thing as blue. The green squad is intended to hold those objectives close to our base and run the flag. Now we break it down into blue 1, blue 2, red 1, red 2, green 1, green 2. Blue 1 is typically your mid-strength players, same with red 1. They're moving forward, but they are not going to teleport. Red 2 and blue 2 are your heavy hitters, your ralliers, the people that hit hard as heck. They need to be teleported forward to take the most advantage of the fact that they are going to be closest to the fight. So those are the folks that should be teleporting, and between blue 1 and red 2, blue 2 and red 2, you should have a total of 10 people that are teleporting forward. They should not be sending their troops out at the start of the battle because then they can't teleport. I think if you put your troops into an obelisk and into a city and none of them are an open field, you might be able to teleport. I wanted to validate that this round, but didn't get to. If you could leave a comment down below, let me know if that actually works the way I think it does. Now, green 1 and green 2 are playing a crucial role. Green 1 and green 2 are playing a crucial role. Green 1 is sort of like a floater in the start of the battle because the Ark of Osiris does not appear for 15 minutes. It's not capturable for 15 minutes. So that means that they can do other stuff, and they should be supporting either red or blue, depending on which one needs help. A similar sort of situation is true for green too, but let me tell you, people can push into those objectives and be very successful if they're undefended. You do need to be defending them. Now, green 1 has a lot of sway over the control of the battle, and in particular, they are going to go wherever they're needed. Now, let me give some examples of mid to late game strategies that are super relevant. And it's also important that I mention that although the obelisk is capturable right away at the start of the battle, the other objectives in the blue and the red circle do not become capturable until 5 minutes into the battle, a full 5 minutes into the battle. So you have time to run to the obelisk, capture it, teleport in, and then get to the other objectives. And if there is battling by those objectives, hopefully your players in blue 1 and red 1 are able to hold off the enemy. With the support of green 1, I think that's a doable thing. So that your strongest players can appear when needed to battle the other stuff. Now, from here, there's a lot you can do with your strategy. One strategy would be to focus one side or another side, and then have your green squad defend the side that is got less oomph behind it. For instance, you could have nobody teleport to the blue side and everybody teleport to the red side, and that means you're going to push red hard. Your green floater squad would cover for blue in the early game to make sure you don't lose those objectives, and with enough pressure going down the red lane, you would do so much damage that perhaps you can throw them off base, catch them off guard, and ultimately wound a lot of their troops, because this, my friends, is a game of attrition. Unless you're using tons of healing speed-ups, and look, people probably burn through a lot of them in this last round of Ark of Osiris. They're not going to have a ton of those after several weeks of this, unless they're spending a lot of money, which maybe they are. So I think that's a totally valid strategy of focusing down one side. And you might even do, instead of like 10 people to one side, you might do 7 people teleporting into one side, and then 3 teleport to the other side, right? You figure out what that balance is. But by having this breakdown of squads, we could, in an instant, communicate to our teams what we wanted done in voice chat. And by the way, every single player in our alliance that was participating knew what the plan was. How did they know what the plan was? Each of our squads, blue 1, blue 2, red 1, red 2, each of our squads had a leader. And the squad leader was responsible for communicating with the rest of their squad to confirm that everybody had seen the plan and understood what they were going to do. The goal with a battle like this, by the way, is not to micromanage. The goal with a battle like this is to make clear what people's objectives are so they can intelligently figure out what they think the best route is. So you give a big picture vision for what your strategy ought to be, adjust on the fly, and people will make smart choices along the way, and you have to trust your people to do that. So my friends, I think this is how you get the perfect start to the Ark of Osiris, and you should be copying this. You should be copying this. I think I will probably modify the power of players that are in different groups, who goes where. By the way, it's totally worth mentioning, I've watched a lot of strategy videos for Ark of Osiris, and in many ways, this is sort of an evolution of the strategy that Legend Ronnie had on his channel, and then also an evolution of the strategy that we executed with the Sons of Sparta on Kingdom 4, Sons of Sparta. But in general, if you've got a better way to approach this battle, I would love to see it. Please do drop that strategy into the comments. We're still really early on in figuring out exactly what to do. And in one of my next videos, I'm going to give detailed breakdowns of the builds that I would use for some of your commanders. I'm going to respec Scipio and Richard I and Minamoto for the squads that I ultimately am using. We'll talk about my preparations. But for now, I hope you found this strategy helpful. There's a lot to cover here. I hope I remembered to cover everything. And either way, let me know what you thought in the comments. Like and subscribe if it's helpful. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.